Welcome back, everyone. Every minute I spend watching the other cable news outlets is a minute I become more and more enraged. How dare CNN's Christiane Amanpour compare the last 4 years under the leadership of President Trump as the equivalent of Nazi Germany and the immediate years leading up to the Holocaust, she says.
And in that tower of burning books, it led to an attack on fact, knowledge, history, and truth. After 4 years of a modern-day assault on those same values by Donald Trump, the Biden-Harris team pledges a return to norms, including the truth.
Yeah, I don't think so. Nothing truthful about that. She talks about the truth. While CNN talks about the truth, it flips it. It's conservatives who are being censored, including the president, by the way. Since Election Day, Twitter has labeled 1 out of every 3 of his tweets as disputed. Our schools and universities have been overrun by radical leftists pushing socialist ideals that fly in the face of our American values of freedom.
While the great brooding figure of his defeated opponent rages, conducting purges of perceived enemies and preventing a transition.
You see what she does there? She uses terms like purges to drum up images of Nazi Germany and its horrific attempted eradication of the Jewish people. Donald Trump has done nothing to deserve all of this. The idea that he and his supporters, all of you, me, are somehow racist is a flat-out lie, and it's offensive. But to compare the president to Hitler, a brutal killer, is nothing short of disgusting, cheap, and despicable.
No democracy can survive unless the majority of people at least accept the same set of facts.
Well, that is just not true. The beauty of America is spelled out in our Constitution. We have fundamental rights in this country that can't be changed with a simple majority, as she says. If it is unconstitutional. If it's illegal, then it must be unconstitutional. Remember, just because a majority wants it doesn't make it right. America protects us from that, unless the Constitution is changed. And to do that, it takes an overwhelming majority, 2/3 of the House and Senate, to send the amendment to the states, where they have to ratify the change. So if a majority of people wanted repeal, to repeal the right to keep and bear arms, let's say, well, they couldn't do it without an overwhelming national support in Congress and nationwide. So guess what? The president has no say in the entire process either, much to the dismay of Amanpour, I'm sure. But Christine Amanpour doesn't understand any of this. And she clearly doesn't understand us or our president. Why would anyone want to watch a woman so out of touch with America and our values? The answer, of course, is because she tells them what they want to hear, and it has nothing to do with the truth. Which brings us to the rest of the mainstream media. And when it comes to accusations of a stolen election, this is how the media sees it today.
There is no evidence.
He has yet to put forth any evidence.
There's no evidence.
There is no evidence of malfeasance.
Well, now I want a flashback to the year 2000, when Al Gore lost to George Bush but continued to fight through legal battles and recounts. Back then, when a Democrat was the underdog, thanks to Newsbusters, this is what they all had to say about that.
There is no question, or very little question, that Al Gore won the votes cast in the state of Florida. The question is, will he win the votes counted?
Voting irregularities are alleged in some counties.
Some irregularities in the vote count.
Voting irregularities.
Voting impropriety.
And there's some stories in Florida still developing. We don't know all the facts, but it really looks odd.
Do you think in Florida that voter fraud has been perpetrated?
The Gore campaign today boldly predicted that when the final vote is in, they will prevail.
I mean, look at that. That, folks, is what you call fake news media liberal hypocrisy. What is good for Gore, not so good for Trump. And they put it on display for all of you to see. I have to tell you, this army we're building here is growing very, very fast. On this program, Stinchfield, we call it Stinchfield's Army, and of course on Newsmax. The Newsmax app, which is free on your smartphone, has been downloaded more than 2 million times in the past 2 weeks. You've made us one of the most downloaded apps in the country. So if you haven't had a chance, go to the App Store, download it, and you can watch us anytime, anywhere for free. And it really is a fabulous app. I use it when I'm not on TV. I use it to watch Newsmax.